Hello, hello, hello. I know I have a little bit of a delay, so I just want to make sure that everybody can see and hear me okay. I was running a couple minutes late, but here I am. Awesome. Yay, yay, yay. Thank you for those of you that are able to join me live. And if you're catching the replay, thank you for that as well. I obviously want to make sure I get out all of the information for you guys, and I try to write it all in my blog posts, but I know that I'm much better at explaining things to you guys in person and not as best of a writer. So, hello, hello, yay. All right, coming in loud and clear. I love it. I love it. I love it. Yes, thank you, Linda. If you guys have a second, make sure you like the video. That just helps more people find this video and discover my YouTube channel. So I've got it looks like lots of familiar names in the comments, but some people who have done the art retreat, some people are new to the art retreat. I know the Copic 101 class is new for everybody. So we've got a lot of things to share and talk over about today. So I am going to jump right into it. And I just ask that you wait till the end to ask questions. I might see your question come up on the screen, but I will probably miss it. So it would be best if you just wait to the end, and I will answer all questions, I promise. But I want to make sure I don't forget the important things that I need to make sure you guys know. All right. We got some people sneaking in from work. Thank you. Yep, I'm rocking some new Shark merch, Craft More, Worry Less. This is one of the hoodies that you guys can pre-order right now. Hello, Krista. Awesome, awesome. Okay, so let's first talk about the Creative Journey Art Retreat. So the Creative Journey Art Retreat is happening the first weekend in June, and this is an online event. When, the pandemic started, I pivoted and I started hosting online retreats. And so this retreat, like I said, is an online event. It's a 2-day event. As with all of my online classes and events, if you can't attend live with me, that is totally okay. You will be able to attend whenever it works into your schedule. So some people join in the whole weekend and, block off time and share it with me. Some people will work on their cards in the evenings, maybe after work, here and there. Some people save it for a rainy day. There are many, many ways that you can choose to attend the virtual Creative Journey Art Retreat. During this event, it's a 2-day event. We run from 10 a.m. till 5 p.m. We do have an hour break, and we do the same thing. We do that on Saturday, and then we do the same thing on Sunday. You get a box of goodies from our sponsors, which you guys can see on the screen here. We've got a lot of fun sponsors this time. We have Avery L, Colorado Craft Company, Gina K Designs, Hero Arts, Honeybee Stamps, Lawn Fawn, Newton's Nook, Purple Onion Designs, Ranger, Pink Fresh, Stampers Anonymous, Simon Says Stamp, Tim Holtz, and Trinity Stamps. Now, you're going to get goodies from all of these people. Some of these items are exclusive to the event. Some of these items are previously released items. However, the event is $175 plus shipping. And I really see the cost of the event is in the card kits that you're going to get, the designs of the cards, You're going to make at least 12 cards and all the teaching time that you're going to get with me. I find that the product that you get in the box that's valued of at least $100, if not more, is bonus. It really isn't how I determine the cost of the event. Hopefully that makes sense. So it's a really, really fun event. We're going to make all occasion cards. So we're going to make some summer cards. We're going to make some birthdays. We're going to make some friendships. We're going to make some thank yous. There are no holiday cards in this run for June. And it's really just a wicked fun weekend. Like, we're going to dabble in a lot of different techniques, a lot of different tips and tricks, and you're going to walk away with 12 finished cards, which I think is so, so fun. Now I do want to also mention, so this is my virtual event of the year. So I did just have one in January, and that's because I didn't have time to squeeze it in last fall. But this virtual Creative Journey Art Retreat is the only virtual Creative Journey Art Retreat I'm going to be hosting this year, okay? I am going to be hosting an in-person Creative Journey Art Retreat in November, and that is going to be here on Cape Cod. And more details about that event is going to come out in May, all right? So, but this is my only virtual Creative Journey Art Retreat for 2023. There will not be another virtual one this year. I'm seeing some comments about the handouts. The handouts for this event end up being like in the 20 plus page size because you get a really nice large image of each of the cards, detail shots. I list out the supplies that were used. Again, some of those supplies you get in your box. Some of those supplies are things that we kit for you. I have 4 amazing people that are going to be making the 300 kits of the 12 cards. And so it's a lot of work, but it's worth it. And that's my way of enabling you, but also just showing you some fun coordinating products to go along with what you're getting in the box. All of the sponsors offer a really fun shopping discount code that's exclusive to the attendees. It's just a really, really fun event. And this is open worldwide. Now, the Creative Journey Art Retreat, the virtual one, tends to sell out quickly. I never know if an event's going to sell out quick or slow or whatever. It's really all dependent on you guys, right? Last time, I believe it sold out in 3 to 4 hours, okay? So I really highly recommend that you are on my website at the time that registration opens, which is this Saturday, April 8th at 11 a.m. Eastern time. And if you're not sure what time that is in your time zone, you can just Google world clock and look at what time it is in New York City or Boston, and then versus where you live. And that will tell you what time it is for you, okay? So that is the Creative Journey Art Retreat. Before I move on to tell you about the Copic 101 class, I want to see if there's any questions about the Creative Journey Art Retreat virtual event. So if there are, feel free to add those questions in the chat now. Typing the word question in all caps first does help me see them easier. I love it. Gina says that she's excited to hear about the in-person event. Yeah, so I just wanted to make sure you guys know, because I know that budgeting is a thing. I budget, everybody has to budget, and there's a lot of fun events going on out there now. So I just wanted to make sure you guys knew, that this is my only virtual Creative Journey Art Retreat this year, but I will be doing an in-person one. And that's why I often twice a year post a graphic for all my upcoming classes and events, because I want you guys to be able to kind of pencil those dates into your calendars. Maybe try to work your life around them if possible, but also you can start to plan how much enabling will happen this year. I love it. Elaine says she just got one of my binders in the mail and she thinks it's beautiful. Thank you so much, Elaine. I love my binders. So I always love when people fall in love with them. Cindy had a quick question about gear. They are all of my gear on my website. The pullover hoodies, the sweatshirts, the zip-up hoodies, the t-shirts, and the unisex v-necks are all comfy fit, unisex fit, roomy. There is a fitted v-neck that's purple. It only comes in purple. That one is more fitted, okay? So they're very roomy. Okay, let's see. Yes, the event is open worldwide. Cricket says that they were running out of toner for my class, but they used it anyways because they love the handouts. Thank you so much. Awesome. Alarm is set for Saturday morning. I love it. I will be rushing home from my hair appointment that morning or pulling into a parking lot to register on my phone. Thank you so much, Mary. Question, how much additional prep is required pre-class? That's a great question, Alyssa. So there isn't a ton of homework needed to do for this event. Again, I have amazing people that are going to be working on the class kits for me. So they do a lot of the die cutting and the paper cut and things like that ahead of time. I am going to tell you there's a few items that once you get your box, I have a video where I share the contents of the box so you can just make sure that you got everything you were supposed to. And in that video, I will also share a teeny bit of homework. However, I am not going to do the homework. I'm going to run the event like maybe I didn't prepare for class. I'm going to do things during the event. But some of the homework involves maybe fussy cutting out a mask or white embossing a sentiment on cardstock, little things like that, that if you feel you want to get it done ahead of time, I will explain how to do that, what items to do, but I will be doing it all during the event. And again, it's a live teaching event, so you're going to be working right along with me. And it's hosted here on YouTube in privately accessed videos. So you do not need to have a Facebook account to be part of the event. And during the live event on a YouTube video, you can choose to pause me, rewind me, and then you can hit the word live and come right back up to live again. So it's really awesome. Because if at any point maybe you start to get behind, you could choose to rewind a little bit. Or as I often tell people in all of my online classes, you can just set that step aside because you can always go back to it later and catch up with it again later. Dawn's asking what the time zone is again. So it's Eastern time zone. So you can search for either, Boston or New York City. And again, it's going to be, registration is this Saturday, April 8th at 11 a.m. Eastern time. And I will tell you, I was going to do it at 10 a.m., but then I was thinking of my West Coast peeps. I know I'm never going to make everybody happy with a time zone selection or a time selection, but I was like, yeah, you know what? Let's bump it up to 11 a.m. So awesome. Oh, Mindy's just discovering some of my stickers. Thank you, Mindy. And Brienne is saying, what about the people become obsessed with binders? Yes, Brienne is definitely obsessed with binders. Okay. Yes, Emmeline remembers the sign up for the first virtual retreat. It sold out in minutes. So glad that there are more spots available now. Yeah, so I definitely increased the availability to the event. Again, it's open to 300 people. However, that's it. That's kind of my max. it's a lot. It's a lot to get the 300 card kits ready. It's a lot to ship the boxes. I do have people that help me, but I am kind of a party of one. So 300 feels like a comfortable number for me, but it definitely helps so that it doesn't sell out in minutes. Kylie has a great question. What types of, it just scrolled up. Let me find it again. What types of products are in the kits? Stamps, inks, tools, extra. That's a great question, Kylie. So I can tell you it changes every event because it just depends on what the company and I are working on for products. But this time it's stamps, it's dies, it's stamps and coordinating dies. It is, I'm actually like looking around my desk right now because I'm finishing up the card designs as we speak. I'm just trying to think. It's a lot of stamps and dies. There's stencils, there's some washi tape, there's some embellishments, but it's heavy on the stamps and dies. Yeah, this time. And then, I didn't see this question, but that leads me to also just mention supplies that you need to have. I always provide a supply list, and I pretty much kind of explain, I kind of break it up into, what we're using it for. So when I start to list out ink pads, I let you know, oh, we're going to be watercoloring with them, or we're going to be ink blending with them. And I do provide a video going over the supply list. That's not available yet, but it will be available soon. But I always encourage you guys for all of my online classes to use what you have. If I say I'm going to use, like, let's say I'm going to use Picked Raspberry Distress ink. And you're like, oh, well, I only have Picked Raspberry Distress Oxide, or I only have another brand's pink ink. I say stick with that. See how I use it during the event, and then you can choose after the event or during the event to shop for it. If you've decided, you know what, the way she used that supply is better than how my supply would turn out, or I like the effect that she got. But I really encourage you guys to not feel like you have to have everything exact to me. Although I do repeat a lot of the same supplies over and over. So I've heard people mention that, when Jen's supply lists come out for events and classes, I don't really have to buy a whole lot anymore because I have all the things. I kind of stick to the same supplies. I do have a couple new supplies I'm going to share with you guys this event, but I pretty much stick to the same supplies. I will share a Copic swatch list because I'll be coloring with Copic markers, but you can be coloring with anything. I will tell you the markers, there is not a lot, but there's a decent chunk of colors that we're using because this one stamp set that we got from a specific company has some really fun images to color, and you kind of need a few different colors to make it work. However, again, colored pencils, other alcohol-based markers, watercolor, you can do whatever you want. Okay. Krista's asking, how many virtual events have you hosted so far? I know I've been part of 3 of them. That's a good question, Krista. I am going to guess, because I was doing 2 of them a year for 2 years, I think. So that's 4. And then this might be my 7th online one, but I'm guessing on that, so don't quote me. Okay. Helen says the boxes are always filled with wonderful things, never disappointed. I love that. Thank you so much. And like I mentioned, a few of the items in your box this time are going to be exclusive. And one of the items is actually not going to be released to anybody but you guys. And I'm so excited about that. So, all right. Mary says, I'm excited for coloring. I can't believe I'm saying that. Yay. Awesome. 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 Okay. I don't see any other questions about the Creative Journey Art Retreat. So I just want to mention, if you guys have any questions before Registration on Saturday. Remember, I have a very detailed blog post. I actually have 2 separate blog posts right now. One all about registration for the Creative Journey Art Retreat, and one all about registration for the Copic 101 online class. So definitely check that out on my website, shirkas.com. And if you still have questions beyond all that information, you can just shoot me a message, but make sure you do that sooner than later, because come late Friday night into Saturday morning, I'm going to be kind of monitoring my website and not necessarily answering questions as well. Let's see. Yeah, so somebody I think mentioned, when do we get the box of supplies? The last event was in January, which obviously I was shipping before Christmas because I wanted to kind of get past the rush. But typically I ship boxes out 2 weeks before the event. And for the most part, everybody gets their box. I know Krista's here and she's down in South Africa. So her box doesn't always make it on time, and sometimes it hangs out in customs for a very long time, but she's super patient and we've chatted about that. But everybody that has ordered from me from, Canada and over the pond in Europe has gotten their boxes on time. So I can never guarantee that, because once it leaves my house, I don't have control over it. But when you are choosing your shipping option, you can also choose a faster shipping option if you're international. I know that increases price, but that's a decision that you can make if you would like to. Okay? All right. So now let's talk about Copic 101. And as we get into talking about Copic 101, which I realize I made this graphic way too big. So I'm going to move. Oh, I'm moving the wrong way. I'm going to move over here. Clearly I was wicked excited because I made my graphic too big. But I want to just say, before I dive into the details about the Copic 101 class, both registrations are opening at the same time on Saturday. So Saturday, April 8th at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. And because of that, I want to let you guys know, if you plan on attending both of these events and classes, you want to do the Creative Journey Art Retreat and you want to do the Copic 101 class, you want to make sure you cannot register for both of them at the same time. Okay. And that goes to say, when you register for the Creative Journey Art Retreat, you can't purchase other items in my shop. I used to allow that, but honestly, it becomes very, very complicated when I'm shipping out 300 boxes and I need to remember, oh yeah, so-and-so needs to have a quickie glue pen. As much as I want you to have that quickie glue pen, you've got to order all of those supplies ahead of time. Okay. Or separately. But same thing goes with these 2 classes events. You can't pay and register for them at the same time. So the Creative Journey Art Retreat is going to sell out quickly. So I recommend that if you want to do both things, that you go online at 11 a.m. and register for the Creative Journey Art Retreat and cash that out and be good. Then you can go back onto my website and register for Copic 101, okay? The Copic 101 class, there is an element being shipped to you. There is a workbook being shipped to you, which I'm going to talk about in more detail in just a minute. But even though that tends to mean, oh, there's limited amounts available, there isn't limited amounts available. I will be able to get more. I will be able to print more. I will be able to ship as many as people want to sign up. So the Copic 101 class is not going to sell out. All right. However, if you are an international viewer and you want to attend the Copic 101 class, I want to tell you a couple things. It is a workbook being shipped to you. There is no digital option. the workbook has to be shipped to you, but I really thought this through, you guys, where it is a smaller workbook. It's not going to weigh a lot. It's going to be in a small bubble mailer. So shipping is not going to be crazy. Okay. But I am actually going on vacation a week from Saturday. So all international people that want to attend my Copic class live with me on May 6th really need to make sure you're registered by April 10th so I can get your packages for sure in the mail before I leave. Okay? Everybody's gotten really quiet in the chat, so I hope that I am making sense and that you understand that. And I did explain all this again in my informative blog post, but I want to make sure that you guys help me spread the word and that you know. So Saturday morning, if you want to do both things, you're going to register for the Creative Journey Art Retreat, cash that out, be good, secure your spot, take a deep breath, be super excited, and then you can go and register for the Copic 101 class. And again, that one, if you're an international person, I really recommend that you're registering before April 10th so I can mail out your package before I go on vacation so you can have it in time for May 6th. If you are international and you're not planning on attending the class live, don't worry about it. Order it when you can, right? This is going to be an ongoing class where you'll be able to register and take it at any point in the time that works into your schedule. That's what I love about these online options. Okay, Mary's just listening intently. Prices, I believe I mentioned it for the Art Retreat, Cricket, but so the Creative Journey Art Retreat is $175 plus shipping. And then the Copic 101 class is $80 plus shipping. And so again, the live version of Copic 101 will be on May 6th, but you do not have to attend that live. I know we're starting to get into, graduation seasons and first communion seasons, and May is the best month for birthdays, just saying. So don't feel like you have to attend it live, but the live version is May 6th. So the Copic 101 class, and I kind of put in a little byline, an introduction to coloring with alcohol-based markers. I personally have been coloring with Copic markers for 20 years now, and I've been teaching with Copic markers for 20 years now. I first started coloring with Copics when I managed a paper crafting store, and I immediately started teaching with Copics. And this class is going to be structured very similarly to how I used to teach a Copic class at the store I managed. I used to hand stamp workbooks for everybody, and we would learn techniques and tricks and tips and really refine our coloring. Now, the number one reason, there's many reasons, but the biggest reason on why we're doing a workbook is so that this class is great for anybody, okay? If you are not big into cutesy images like Lawn Fawn and Newton's Nook, maybe you're more into artsy images like Tim Holtz, or even some of the Hero Arts images. If you're into flowers or you're into animals, this class is going to be good for you because we are going to all be coloring the same images. I actually commissioned Angie Blom. She's an amazing artist who has designed stamps for Unity Stamps for a number of years. She has her own website where she sells digital images. And I commissioned her to design some artwork for some images that we're all going to be coloring. Now, does that mean everybody's going to love the image that we're coloring in our workbook? No. But because we're coloring in a workbook and we're not making completed projects, we're going to be learning more. So somebody had asked in the comments when I posted about the class, how is this class going to be different from your other online classes? Which I assumed, she meant like my Lawn Fawn card classes. Well, for one, we're not going to be worrying about a cute, perfect card to be made. So we're going to actually be hearing my words more. And I know that this is the case because, again, this is how I used to structure my class when I used to teach this class in person at a paper crafting store that I used to manage. As soon as we take out of our brain that we're going to have a completed project, we are learning more and we're hearing the information that I'm sharing more. Okay. So, and I'm going to be using Copic markers. I do not have the swatch list of the markers that I'll be using yet. I hope to have that by Saturday. If not Saturday, very shortly after. I can tell you most of the colors are going to come from my top 50 list, which many of you guys have been purchasing your Copic markers from that list. So if you go to my website, shirkus.com, and you search Copic 101, you'll see that list. And however, I know that over the years, there have been many, many brands and kinds of alcohol-based markers out there. So I don't want to say that this class is only for those people that own Copics. I think that there's a lot of similarities to all alcohol-based markers in the sense that with an alcohol-based marker, we can blend and we can layer very similarly, okay? So if you don't own Copics and maybe you own another brand, I do still feel like you're going to find value in this class. There is going to be specific things I'm going to be talking about Copics. I'm going to go over the differences of the Copics. I'm going to go over changing the tips. I'm going to go over refilling. So those things might be different than the brand of alcohol-based markers that you own. However, all of my blending tips, my coloring tips, my technique tips are going to be very similar no matter what brand of alcohol-based markers you own. Hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully I'm explaining it well. I've been living in my brain about this class for so long and I get so excited to talk to you about it. So if some of this sounds like gibberish, feel free to just ask questions and I will be happy to answer them. Now, so you're going to get a printed workbook. You will also get a access to a class resource page like all of my online classes. That's where you will find the links to the class videos. You will find all kinds of other information. You will also be able to download the class handout. As the class gets closer, I will post that and email all attendees that that's available for download. I am not printing handouts. Honestly, the class workbook is smaller than 8.5 by 11, and I didn't want to make the shipping any more money because I really wanted this class to also be able to work for international people, okay? Let's see. I'm trying to think if I'm forgetting anything else. When I do release the color markers that I'm going to be using, as always, I am going to share a swatch list so you can choose similar colors in whatever brand alcohol marker you have. But again, like all of my classes, if you don't have the purples I'm using, don't feel like you need to go buy the purples. This is going to be a very just a lesson workbook. So if I'm coloring a bear brown and you want to color the bear purple to practice, that's okay, right? Let's see. Yes, Mr. Harley was walking behind me. He just needed to, be part of the show here. Yeah, the workbook is, I'm very excited. Again, I think it will be nice that we're all on the same level of what we're coloring. Because again, a lot of you guys know I love to design with a lot of different brands. I love Lawn Fawn. I love Tim Holtz. I love Pink Fresh. I love Hero Arts. And so I didn't want to require you guys to have specific stamp sets because maybe a bunch of you are Pink Fresh fans, and I'm going to be like, oh, grab this Lawn Fawn set. I didn't want you guys to go out and purchase stamp sets that you're only going to use once. I wanted it to have more value than that. I love it. I wasn't going to do the Copic class, but it sounds intriguing. Well, I guess I'm doing a good job at enabling then. Exciting to have Angie's images. I have a bunch of her Winnie the Pooh designs from Unity and her designs from Crop and Create. Yeah, Angie is so awesome. So just so you know, no matter what style Copics you have, whether you have the originals, which are the square barrel, the sketch, which are oval, or the chows, which are circle, an R29 is R29 on all three. They're all the same. It's a dark red. And if you don't have Copics, you could look at that R29 swatch to see kind of what shade of red it is and find something similar in your brand of marker. Let's see. How is this class different than what's on your blog and YouTube? That's a great question, Krista. So I will tell you that blog and YouTube is at least 5 years old at this point, I would think. And even people who took my Copic class back when I taught it in person at the store I managed, I would say that this class is going to be different because I'm constantly learning. I have new information to share with you guys. And I also learn from you guys. Every time I teach and you guys ask me questions, or maybe you email me an image and you share maybe your difficulties with coloring, my explanations to that, my answers to that help me learn a better way of teaching. And since the pandemic, I have colored more these past 3 years than I've ever colored in my life. So I just know that I'm learning more to be able to share with you. Not only that is, again, I think there's some value, a lot of value in the fact that that YouTube video that I posted a long time ago was just a Facebook Live that I hosted. And again, you know, I uploaded the video to YouTube so everybody can watch it. And I think there's a lot of great information in that. But the fact that we're all going to be coloring the same images, you're going to be doing it at the same time as me. So your questions are going to be answered better when you run into them. And you're also going to be able to see what's working and what isn't. So that's Mr. Harley. He's doing a little hunting. Mr. Harley, Mama's live right now. I know they actually probably rather talk to you than me, but okay. So that answers that. Let's see. How long will the videos be available if you can't attend the live or want to go over it again? That's a great question, Sylvia. So I never want to say that the videos are going to be available forever because we never know what's going to happen with technology, right? YouTube could go away tomorrow. I would hopefully have time to download all my videos and then figure out a plan B. But all I can assure you is that the videos are going to be along for a wicked long time, like years and years. Okay. So I can't give you an exact time frame, but for a very, very long time. And if for some reason they are going to go away, you would get notice of that. You would be notified. You would have time, but a wicked long time is my professional answer on that. Okay. Pamela says, my biggest challenge is picking colors that blend well. I assume you will go into that. Yes, I will. I've been asking you guys in most of my customer feedback surveys. I usually do those once or twice a year. I send, the information out via my email newsletter, or I post it on social media. And I've asked you for a long time now what you struggle with when you're coloring with alcohol-based markers. And so I'm ready. I hopefully will be answering a lot of your questions that you've shared with me over the years. What type of paper is the workbook printed on? It's going to be printed on 80-pound Neenah Solar White, the only cardstock that I do my Copic coloring on. Let's see, you put so much thought into your classes. It's much appreciated. Thank you so much. And some of you guys might remember this class was supposed to happen this past fall, and I kind of had to push it back. And I hope you understand that the reason for that is whenever I do any online class or any online event, I want to make sure that I am giving you the best value, the best information. And so I put a lot of pressure on myself for that. And so, yeah, so when I had originally wanted to teach that this fall and I was not having the time that I needed to give to the class, I knew right away, I was like, oh, I have to delay it. Okay, let's see. What coloring level is 101 class targeting? Newbie, casual, experience? That's a great question. So I've been calling it Copic 101 just because it's kind of a catchy class title. However, I truly feel those of you that have been coloring a long time, I think you'll get something out of it. I think if you're brand new to alcohol-based coloring, you're going to get a lot out of it. And I think if you're middle of the road, you're going to get a lot out of it. I tried to keep the cost pretty affordable at $80 plus shipping. It's not super, super expensive. So I think no matter what, there's more to learn, right? Even just seeing how somebody colors something differently or seeing how I approach coloring. Again, I think that there's something to be learned for everybody. Awesome. Thank you, Krista. And I appreciate that because I know shipping to you is a little bit farther. I think you're my farthest person I ship to. Okay. Amarita said, will you show how to refill markers? Yep, I'm going to go over that. No worries. I did mention it, but that's okay. Cricket says, I've never used a Copic marker before. So that's okay. And I even mentioned this with my distress technique classes. So I've done a distress ink technique class. I have done a distress sprays technique class. And then I just most recently did my distress watercolor pencil class. You don't have to go into the class with all the supplies. You can sign up for the class and just watch it, take it all in, and then maybe this is a great class for you to decide if you want to get any Copic markers. Let's see. Yes, so I will be sharing a list of Copic colors that I will be using. But if you don't own any, I'll mention that. That's I will also mention that in my supply list that I'll share with you guys really soon. The supply list is maybe going to be available for Saturday, but honestly, just starting with the grays and learning how to blend with the grays, so even warm grays I think are the easiest to blend with. You can do the whole class with me working with just grays. And then you can take the class again down the road once you've built up your collection. Elaine says, do you have to register now or can you register and get the workbook and say 6 months right? If right now is not convenient. Yes, Elaine, this class is not going to go away. So if you don't plan on attending live with me on May 6th, you do not need to register on Saturday. Registration will stay open, just like all of my online classes where I don't ship you anything. You could take all of my previously released classes and whenever it's convenient for you. Pamela says, does the packet just contain images? So the workbook is just going to be images, Pamela, but you're also going to get a downloadable handout with a lot of information in that. Kylie says, I've tried many alcohol marker brands and Copic is by far my favorite. So excited for this class. Yay. Happy to hear that. Again, this is not going to be a class where I'm telling you, Copic is the only way to go. There are a lot of different brands of alcohol-based markers out there, but I can just share with you what I know. And I truly feel Copic markers are a lifetime marker. I have had mine for 20 years. I also have I'm looking up because I have them displayed in my craft room up there, but I also have multiples of Copic markers from when I travel and teach in person, and I used to provide markers for everybody to use. And no offense, when people use my markers in class, they're really, really hard on them. They're not super gentle. And those markers are all still going strong as well. They're a very high quality artist grade alcohol-based marker. And if you take care of them, I joke with people, but if you take care of them, there's something that you're going to want to put in your will because they're a lifetime marker and you will be able to pass them on to somebody. Let's see. Pamela says, wicked good class. Yay. All right, Krista has another good question. Will we be able to print extra images to practice more? Yes. As a class attendee, you are going to be able to print more workbook pages. Of course, I recommend that you're printing it on, the 80-pound Nina cardstock, which if you can't do that with your home printer, you can always have a local printer or a Staples or a Kinko's type place print them for you. But yes, you will have access to the workbook pages to be able to print more and practice, because I will want you guys practicing. Will you offer, same question from Cynthia, so I'll skip that one. She's asking about being able to print more images. And let's see. Elaine's asking where I buy Copics. So I actually have a page on my website called Genabler Faves, and that's where I link all of my favorite places and brands to shop from. I personally use Copic Originals, which are the square barreled ones. So I purchase mine through Blick Arts. And again, I have an affiliate link on my website, on my Genabler Faves page. However, Simon says Stamp often does Copic sales for Copic sketch markers. And then I also always send people to Papercraft Clubhouse in Connecticut. That's kind of my local store, and she does a great job at stocking Copic markers at a really good price as well. Yes, you will have to print the workbook pages on a laser printer. Inkjet tends to bleed with alcohol-based markers. So again, that's why I was mentioning if you can't print them at home, you can find a local printer to be able to print them on a laser printer for you. All right. Thank you, Brienne, for linking that Genabler alert page. So lots of fun things going on, you guys. Lots of fun things. I'm very excited. It's all coming together. There's a lot of hard work, which I know you guys know behind the scenes. And I'm so excited. As always, you guys are just help me get excited about all of the things. So I always appreciate your support and your excitement and your questions. And again, I would love for you to help spread the word. I understand when it comes to the Creative Journey Art Retreat, you might want to secure your seat before you help spread the word. But the Copic 101 class, again, is unlimited seating. So I would really love for you guys to share with anybody that you're allowed to about this class, because that just helps other people find me and find the information for this great class. All right. Yay, awesome. Krista has a laser printer and she bought Nina when she was visiting the USA. So she is ready to go. So just going to wait a minute more to see if you guys have any other questions. So just to recap, both the Creative Journey Art Retreat registration and the Copic One registration are opening up on Saturday, this Saturday, April 8th at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. The Creative Journey Art Retreat always does sell out quickly. I can't say it's going to happen this time, but it always does. So you want to register for that first, secure your seat, and then you can register for the Copic 101 class. You cannot register for both of them at the same time because shipping is involved, and just for me to make sure I'm shipping the right things to the right people, you do need to process 2 separate orders. But if you're doing both events, register for the Creative Journey first, okay? If you're only doing the Copic class, go ahead and register for it. But if you're doing both, make sure you get your seat in the Creative Journey Art Retreat, okay? All right. So the Creative Journey Art Retreat is the first weekend of June. The Copic 101 class is May 6th. Of course, you guys can take these online classes and events anytime that it works in your schedule after the live happens. The other really cool thing about YouTube, besides being able to stop me, pause me, rewind me, is while I'm live, if you just want to start your day later, you can go ahead and start your day later and start watching, the video, even if I haven't finished my live. Just keep in mind, asking questions can be kind of confusing because I'm going to be live, steps ahead of you. But if that doesn't bother you and you're not going to have a lot of questions, you can start your day whenever you want to start your day. Okay. Remember, lots of information is over on my website. I did 2 separate blog posts for the Creative Journey Art Retreat details and registration, and the Copic 101 details and registration. Make sure you guys create an account first on my website now. If you've never shopped with me, you don't have an account, make sure you set up an account ahead of time. If you have shopped with me before, make sure you know your password well before 11 a.m. Eastern time on Saturday. And make sure all your information is filled out, your shipping information, your street address, all of that, your email, and that will help make checking out smoother. For both events, you can register more than one person, but you really need to know each person's first name, last name, shipping address, and email address. I really, really ask you guys to not put your information for everybody's and then email me later asking me to update, shipping information. It's really so much easier for you to put all of that information in for me ahead of time. Just remember, you guys, I am just one person for shipping. I do have my friend Julie that comes over and helps me, but all of those logistics, if you can help keep those things streamlined for me, it really does make things easier for me, so I can design more fun things to share with you guys. All right, let's see. Awesome. All right. I don't think I missed any questions. If you're watching the replay, feel free to comment on this video, and I will make sure I watch my notifications from YouTube, and I'll be sure to answer those as well. I'm excited for registration on Saturday. I have confidence about my website. I don't want to jinx myself, but a lot of you guys know I updated my website last year and invested a lot in it. So usually registrations run pretty smoothly. Again, tech is tech. We never know. But I am very excited. So thank you guys so much for your excitement. Thanks for joining me live today or on the replay. And I will see you all in a class soon. Bye, guys.